What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we are doing our playthrough video of Treasure Map Boa Hancock. So I've already been farming this a lot recently, as you can see by my current navigation level and also by my ranking. Currently, as of me recording this video right now, it is just about to go 8 hours into the treasure map. So we've been farming for about 8-ish hours so far, and we're going to get into it. So I've pretty much established the teams that I am going to be using throughout this treasure map. I have a full understanding pretty much of how these bosses work and what to expect heading into them. And if you guys want to see the full breakdown and the preparation video, which also recommends a lot of very good free-to-play units that you guys should be able to use to beat this treasure map, click the card at the top of the video that will link you over to that. Lots of good info there. In this video, it isn't going to be as detailed as that particular video, but we're just going to be playing through it with the teams that I've built for myself, not using too many free-to-play characters. A lot of legends and other rare recruit characters are going to be in this particular video, but let's go straight into it. Now, one thing I do want to point out before we actually get into the dungeon itself is the fact that you can see the treasure mode birds right there. Make sure to pick them up every single time that you run this. When you pick up the treasure mode bird, you immediately get 1.5 times points for the rest of your run as long as you hold that bird. Now, to keep the bird, obviously you have to take down Boa Hancock, and she'll basically intrude into the treasure map. So we'll go ahead and see the example here. We get a 2, we pick up the bird, which is awesome, and it's nice to get it early so we can deviate off to the right if we want to. And then you'll see here the iconic noise, Tureja, and we see that the enemy intrudes. Love Bat, Midnight Halloween Parade, Hancock. Artwork looking absolutely schmick, and this character is really cool. I also discussed the character in full detail in my other video as well, breaking down her abilities and why she's so good. Like, definitely farm up this character. She's very good. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's continue on. Unfortunately, getting lots of low rolls, which is not good for our progression through the treasure map, of course. So, you'll see Boa Hancock will go ahead and open up a new pathway. If you don't go ahead and pick up the bird, you can see that she will not open that pathway. Now, that pathway is really good. If we go up and scroll and have a look, you can see that there is a rainbow chest there. There's a high point spot. There's a stam refill, cooldown reduction. That's definitely the path that I always go down. But depending on which characters you have or don't have, one of the bosses might be better to take down in the mid-map. Like, hypothetically, if you don't own Gear 4 Luffy, the Psy Gear 4, or if you don't own Psy Invasion Sengoku, then Rebecca might be a good option to take down, because she's going to be quite tricky if you don't have those characters particularly. So, you know, that might be an option for you guys right here. So, we can see that Boa Hancock has come ahead and intruded on our treasure map, and we will be taking her down right now. Now, before we get into this battle, I want to say, you can see I'm already at 4 million points. I'm nearly at 5 million points. I have already used my treasure mode rare recruit red ticket. I did get a new legend from the ticket, and I am using that legend to farm this particular boss right now. So we are going to go ahead and battle this boss, and you can see right here, we actually went ahead and picked up Jinbei. We got V2 Jinbei for my first red ticket in the treasure map. I literally couldn't believe it. You guys will be seeing that video later on once we get our treasure map rewards after the treasure map ends. But, you know, it's crazy, man. I can't believe I actually got this character, and I'll probably insert a little snippet right here to show you guys my reaction to pulling Jinbei. It's a red, and it's gonna be... Oh, let's go! Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's go! Alright, so we're getting into it. So this is the team that I'm using here. We've got V2 Jinbei captains. We also have the brand new Treasure Mode Rare Recruit Moria and Treasure Mode Rare Recruit Perona. And we also have our Treasure Mode Shanks and Treasure Mode Big Mom. This is the team that I've been using, and it is very good. And it will work for a very long time against this particular boss. It would have been nice if I got Rayleigh, though. I don't have Treasure Mode Rare Recruit Rayleigh, and he definitely helps out a lot because he is a 2x point booster, and that would help out significantly. Not a big issue, though. Now, there is a preemptive attack at the start of the run. Here you can see Strength, Dex, and Side characters get reduced cooldown, and it looks like they get 6 turns of cooldown reduction, which is very sizable, and allows you to speed farm this particular boss easier, because this particular boss only has 3 stages, like all other intrusion events in Treasure Cruise thus far. But we'll see here on stage 2, We have stage 2 here. We have some of those characters in the front row, the Larpins. The Larpins are really annoying. They do anti-healing or recovery bind, but you see that the Kruger Pirate there actually cuts our health in half, which does make it very annoying, especially if you aren't running characters that are like really optimal for this particular boss. That might make it quite difficult, but for us in particular, it's fine. We can go ahead, continue on to the next room, and we can go ahead and start taking down Boa Hancock. Now, Boa Hancock is, she has a lot of health. She has the highest health out of any character in this particular treasure mode, and she will go ahead and despair us and apply a chain reduction for 4 turns, and you also see she has a psi damage nullification. So for 1 turn, she takes no damage from psi enemies. So with this particular team, we're using our Big Mom special ability to give us a really good boost, and then we're going to use Shanks later on to give us those matching orbs. Now, we're going to be using our Peroni here. Now, because this is a new character, let's go ahead and show off the special animation. Absolutely amazing. So her special ability is really good. She actually reduces the cooldowns of our right column characters. She also heals a bit and removes the damage nullification from Boa, which helps out a lot. Then we can go ahead and use our Gecko Moria special. His special ability does end of turn damage for 3 turns, which actually doesn't help for this boss, but it helps against the Moria boss that we get to. And he also gets rid of the chain nullification and also the despair that is on our crew. We can go ahead here and use our Shank special right now to give us some matching orbs here. And he gives us very good orbs, I'll take that. And then we'll also use our Jinbei special just for a health cut, because we've already got Big Mom's boost active. So, you know, he doesn't give us any type boost or anything, but he does a 20% health cut, which is really, really cool. I actually didn't know that he did a health cut, or I forgot that he did a health cut until I started using him. So we're going to use the 2 health cuts here. And basically, that is how we are going to be beating it so far. So this team will be working for a pretty long time against this particular boss, and you know, if it does get to a situation where I might need to add a little bit more damage output, I'm thinking about taking, you know, one of these characters out for a character like Legend Garp. Legend Garp would be super duper useful here for the chain lock and also for the 30% health cut, which would be really, really cool. Anyways, so we've taken down the Boa Hancock boss, and we get a lot of EXP, of course. We get a lot of points, and we can see that we actually went up to the 18th spot, which is really, really cool. Okay, so 125,000 points, 4.8 million. Oh my god, we're so close. We actually might reach 5 million at the end of this. That's actually pretty cool. So I'll probably like end the video and then I'll go off and record my legend ticket. Obviously, I like to keep the legend tickets, you know, combined into one video, so you guys will have to wait to see that one. So we're going to move on along here, and we are going to try and make our way to that opened up pathway that Boa Hancock actually opened for us when we entered the treasure map, as we picked up the treasure mode bird. And as I said, you know, make sure to pick up those birds. You know, you get so many extra points, especially if you are trying to make your way to 1 million points to max out the character. It's definitely worth doing to pick up those birds. It makes the process much, much easier. There are actually going to be future treasure modes that come out later that do not have the treasure mode bird. You know, they're just going to be like the old school treasure maps. And I really don't like that. I actually do prefer this method of treasure maps, because these intrusion bosses are so useful, because when you do beat them, there's a really high chance that you're going to get a large potion for limit breaking. And we all know how valuable potions are. You know, not everyone is going to have a large amount of them. So having the ability to just continuously farm treasure map and get, you know, large potions dropping left and right, you get a lot of large potions when you farm these intrusion treasure maps. It is quite useful, so I really do hope that they continue to do that in the future. So we're right here now at the opened up pathway. We got a 5, so we are going to skip over everything pretty much, which is quite unfortunate, but we did get the cooldown buff, and I'm a big fan of that. For this in particular, there are 2 teams that I have, and there actually is a little bit of stalling that needs to happen in order to get some character specials ready to go. But when we have the cooldown buff active, we don't need to stall, so that makes it a lot easier for this particular video, so I'm really happy about that. We're actually heading towards the end of the pathway here, and we didn't verse any of the bosses along the way, so you guys are going to be seeing, you know, all the bosses with their full health at navigation level 18 or 19, whatever I'm on. I don't know exactly, I can't remember. So far from what I've seen from my experiences of playing this map so far, there haven't been too many negative buffs, which I'm a big fan of. You know, there's only been one run in particular where I was running it, and I actually got like a really bad attack down debuff for Free Spirit, which made one of my teams really annoying. But considering it is only early stages of the treasure map, it's not really too difficult when you do get a negative buff. But right now we've finally reached the battle rush, so we can see with the 4 bosses we've got Vivi, Sugar, Perona, and Rebecca. So first of all, we're going to take on Vivi, and the team that we are going to be using against Vivi is a version 1 Sanji team. Now I do have treasure mode rare recruit Boa Hancock, or treasure mode Boa Hancock, the boss of this treasure map, is actually on this team, and she works works very, very well. I also have Legend Garp, which we'll talk about in a little bit as we get to the final boss. And we also have World Clash Ace and World Clash Sabo. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video, straight into the boss, and we'll see you guys at the boss stage. Okay, so we finally made it to the boss stage now. We can see Vivi here. She's normally a Psy character. However, all the bosses in this treasure map like to change their color. So we can see that she's actually an Int character this time around. Now you can see she gives us a 4-turn chain reduction. And all of our characters are special binded for 2 turns. So I'm using Legend Garp here to unbind our characters. And he's also really good because he also gives us a chain lock, which fully counteracts the chain nullification that she gave us. So Legend Garp is like the perfect unit here. We also have a World Clash Ace to go ahead and give us our attack orb boost, our chain boost, which doesn't matter because we've got our chain lock, but he also gives us matching orbs, which is really key. And also there is a chance that Vivi can give you block orbs, and World Clash Sabo not only unbinds Ace, but he changes block into matching, so those 2 characters together can guarantee you your orbs. And then, because we have an Int orb on our captain, we can go ahead and use our Boa Hancock special ability, obviously looking schmicker as usual, you know, Boa Hancock always looking great. But yeah, she's really great because she will change our captain's orb into Psy, but she lowers the defense of the enemy as well as gives us the conditional boost that we really want. We can then go ahead and use her special again to change our orb back to matching, and in that situation she gives a 2 times orb boost to shooters, but because Ace already gave us our boost, it doesn't matter. And at this point it is pretty easy, and we do a lot of damage towards Vivi, like only 2 taps for 5 million damage. This team's going to work for a very, very long time on this treasure map. So as we said, we just beat the treasure map boss being Vivi, and now we're moving on to Sugar. So Sugar, now we're using our 6+ Frankie team. So back-to-back using 6+ Sanji, 6+ Frankie, the brand new 6+ is coming out on Global. Now this team, the only reason why I'm really using Frankie here is because, number 1, Frankie is a 1.35 point booster, which is great. And also because he is the only boss, or well, Sugar is the only boss where Frankie can be utilized to get a 2.25 times type boost. If you guys have read Frankie, he gives you a 2.25 times type boost if you have 4 or more enemies on the enemy side of the field. And obviously that happens here with the Sugar boss, which is really, really good. So we can go ahead and move along here. I'm going to speed forward this, and we'll see you at the final boss stage against Sugar. Now we're at the boss stage, so this boss could be tricky if you don't have the particular characters that can help you beat this. Now what I mean by that is the fact that you need characters that can do damage to the enemies that goes through barriers, or I mean Legend Brook kind of solos this as well. Legend Brook's special ability allows you to just clear out the mob characters in the front row, but every time you clear a mob character in the front row, it gets rid of one of the buffs the enemy has. So you can see they have attack up, recovery at the end of each turn, and they have barriers. Now each one of these characters are signified to that, but before we do that, we need to activate our specials in the correct order. Now we need to use our Frankie first to make sure that we get the big type boost against the enemy, and then we can start killing off the mob characters. I'm also going to go ahead and use his captain action here to turn into General Frankie. Then we can use our Colosseum Niwatori, or Niwatori, Tamago, however you want to call it. But his special ability does lots of damage through barriers, and we can see we've killed the guy in the middle, which removes the barriers on the enemy side of the team. We can then go ahead and use our Bellamy for an orb boost, and because we have an orb boost, a type boost, pretty good set amount of matching orbs, let's go ahead and do a lot of damage towards Sugar, and that's all she wrote. So once again, this is another powerful team that will work for a pretty long time, and this is the team I'm using against the boss Sugar. So Sugar is now taken care of, and now we can move on to the second last of the mini bosses, which is Perona. Perona also is another one of these bosses that are like really annoying to deal with. I'm using a Big Mom team here. I was also using a friend captain Higuma, and that still does work, but for the sake of the video, to make it a little bit easier on myself, I'm just going to be using a friend captain Big Mom for this particular fight, and it just makes the fight a lot easier. Still a very good multiplier team, 4.25. It's going to work for a pretty long time. So the way that this boss works is, you know, you want to get to the final boss stage, and the thing about Perona is that she revives, and we'll talk about that once we get to the final boss stage. So I'll speed forward this, and I'll see you guys there. And now we are at the final boss stage against Perona. So you can see that a lot of these actual treasure map bosses do have mini bosses along the way, which I do find quite annoying because those bosses also scale in health as you go along the map. So it will obviously get very, very challenging. So we can see the Perona here. She gives us 5 turns of increased damage taken and a 5-turn chain lock. I believe the chain lock is a 1.1 times, so you definitely want to get around that. So the way that we're going to be getting around it is using our Raid Judge, who not only gets rid of those specific debuffs, but he does 200k fixed damage, and if you have the right conditions fulfilled on your crew, which I don't here, which I really should, he will give you a color affinity boost to your Psi, Strength, and Dex characters, which I really need to actually fix this team up a little bit. Either way, still works quite fine. We're going to use our Big Mom special ability here to not only give us a boost, but it also allows us to do a lot of damage against Perona, and this team does a lot of damage against her. It's quite fine. As we said, she revives. Now, she does revive, and she will go ahead and summon some mob characters, being her ghosts. For me, personally, I'm going to be using my Neptune here to do a lot of damage towards the enemy, get her quite low, and because we still have our Big Mom boost active, still very, very easy fight along the way. This particular team should work for a relatively long time. Not really too sure of what nav level it's going to be quite challenging, but because, you know, Big Mom special does so much damage, as well as, you know, you're getting so much boost from Big Mom herself and the abilities, you know, even if you walk in and you're enraged and you have her ability active, that also helps. But yeah, this team is going to work for a long time. And now we're going to move on to the last boss, which is going to be against Rebecca. So against Rebecca, I'm using a Invasion Sengoku team. If you do not have Invasion Sengoku and you do not have Psi Gear 4, this particular fight is going to be difficult for you, and I would suggest taking down Rebecca in the mid-map if you do not have those particular characters. So yes, we're using Invasion Sengoku as a captain. Sengoku is also a 1.35 times point booster, which gives you, you know, more points compared to most other characters that are boosted. So I would suggest, even if you don't have him maxed out, have him as your captain so you can find better friend captains with, you know, with a max special, because Sengoku himself is the key to clearing this fight very, very easily. And we're going to make our way towards the end here. I will also discuss about stage 6, because stage 6 is actually important for this fight as well. So let's go ahead and get there, and we'll talk about it once we're there. Okay, so we beat stage 5, now we're going to move on to stage 6. Stage 6 is a mini-boss, Nekomamushi Cat Viper. He actually increases his defense, so I would highly suggest, and I did suggest this as well in the breakdown preparation video, to bring a unit that can remove defense or can get around his defensive abilities in some way. Now, the way I'm getting around it is using Treasure Mode Sabo here. He reduces the enemy's defense and gives you a conditional boost. So he's so good. If you have Invasion Sengoku, run Treasure Map Sabo. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Now, I'm not using Trafalgar Law Special in the final room, so I can actually use that here as well. Does a lot of damage, and we can see, you know, we just do so much damage against stage 6. So stage 6 is super duper easy when you have a Treasure Map Sabo active on your team. And now we can talk about the final boss stage, which is Rebecca. She always transforms into a strength unit, and she also has an ability where all your orbs are changed into one set color. We got all int orbs here. It could be all strength, all dex, all quick, or all psi. So this is where Invasion Sengoku is the key unit here, because he cuts the enemy's health by 20%, as well as allowing your orbs that you are given, as long as you have, you know, one orb that is predominant on your team, they all become matching, and you get a 2 times orb boost for 3 turns. Super easy when you have Invasion Sengoku. I also have the Treasure Map Rare Recruit Luffy, who gives our units a type boost, and then I could also use Treasure Map Crocodile to give me a better captain effect. Sengoku's only a 2.75 boost, but when we have Crocodile, he's a 4 times boost, so that does help out significantly, and we can go ahead and do lots of damage against Rebecca. Yeah, this team is going to work for a reasonably long time as well, so really happy with this particular team. And now we can move on to the final boss stage against Gecko Moria. So the team I'm using against Gecko Moria is, for unit, the exact same team I'm using against Boa Hancock. This team demolishes it. No problem whatsoever with this team, and it should work for an extremely long time as well. I'm so blessed to pull Jinbei, honestly. I could not believe it. Prior to pulling Jinbei, I was using Raid Judge as a captain for this particular fight, and I was using version 1 Sanji as a captain for the Boa Hancock fight. I just want to put that out there in case any of you guys are wondering. But yeah, obviously, you know, because I got V2 Jinbei, why wouldn't I use him as a captain if I just got him, you know? And he worked perfectly for this fight, you know, in particular. All of these stage fights are pretty straightforward, nothing really too noteworthy to discuss upon here, but the real fight begins when you get to stage 6, which is the mini-boss Gecko Moria. And that mini-boss Gecko Moria could be quite troublesome for some. He does have really annoying effects with a 2 perfect hit barrier, as well as applying burn to you, and the burn is really significant too. The burn gives you 3,000 damage per perfect that you hit, and you do have to hit at least 2 to actually break through Moria's barrier. Also, Moria basically makes it so you cannot use any orb manipulation whatsoever on stage 6, and if you do use an orb manipulation, he changes your orbs back into this set pattern that you're about to see. You can see you get recovery, psi, int, and then dex strength quick. The orbs are always set that way. Every time you activate an orb manipulation, they get switched back to this manipulation. The great thing here is obviously Jinbei's special ability makes them more matching because we have all the orbs there, and we get the type boost, and then that will allow us to deal lots of damage against Gecko Moria, breaking through his barrier and easily defeating him. And then we talk about the final stage. So this is the final boss stage against Gecko Moria, and he actually is a strength unit, but once again he type changes into a quick unit, obviously making it very good for Jinbei to take him down. He also summons out a bunch of mob characters, and we can see that we get our right hand column characters will get their specials rolled back, and you can see we get given an attack and orb boost. It's only a 1.01 times attack and 1.01 times orb boost, so having a character to remove your beneficial effects and then give you more beneficial effects is the way to go for this fight. So the way I'm getting around it, obviously using our treasure map Big Mom to remove those effects and give us a really good buff. And then from there we can use our Perona to give ourselves the ability to roll our specials back, and then we can use our Gecko Moria to give us the ability that's really useful here, which is the end of turn damage, which will kill off the zombie characters surrounding Gecko Moria. We can go ahead and give ourselves some matching orbs here from the Shank special, perfect orbs, love to see it. And then we're going to use our Jinbei special just for a health cut. And I mean, this team is just going to decimate it. We don't even need to let the end of turn damage kill, but let's really show off here. Let's go. Let's do this. And then boom, and then boom, and then boom. 19 million damage, nice and casual 19 million damage, love to see it. So Jinbei, man, can't believe it. I still can't believe it for Jinbei, man, that shit is crazy. And, you know, as I said, that video will be coming out later as we go to rank 17. Awesome. I'm not going to be holding that rank for too long. Obviously, I don't have the 2x point booster, so as nav levels increase, you know, people with the 2x point boosters will exponentially get more points compared to me. But either way, it's still pretty fun to go ahead and utilize a new legend straight off the bat. And that is the full breakdown of the treasure map as we reach 5 million points. So as I end this video now, I'm going to go record this legend ticket, and hopefully it's something really great, but I can't see, you know, competing with what I got on my 3 million ticket. Anyways, guys, that's the full playthrough that I've done for Treasure Map Boy Hancock. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.